Hi, welcome to Luxury in Moderation, where we appreciate the finer things in life without going overboard. Today we're going to take a small departure from luxury handbags and fashion and dive into the world of luxury beauty or just beauty in general. So I did used to work in the luxury beauty industry, so I wanted to share some secrets or maybe just some not as well-known things for you guys who are interested in luxury and beauty, so you can be a little bit more informed as a consumer of these products. If you're new here, my name is Joanne, and every week I upload videos about luxury handbags and other luxury lifestyle products like beauty. If you like this kind of content, please make sure to like and subscribe below so you don't miss my next video. So as I mentioned, I did used to work in the luxury beauty industry, and beauty was a huge passion of mine for many years. Recently, I have delved more into luxury fashion and handbags and moved a little bit away from beauty, but I will have beauty content from time to time. As I mentioned, I have some things to share, and this video was really prompted by another video I saw on YouTube by makeup YouTuber OG TIFFANYD. And basically, in one of her videos recently, she was smelling like a Hermes blush, I think it was, and she said, "I can tell the quality based on how the powder smells." Well, I just felt the need to inform you guys that that is just not true. So sure, luxury beauty that you buy from department stores or from high-end brands can smell better than maybe drugstore beauty products, but that is because you are paying for that perfume smell to be inserted into that product. So what TIFFANYD said, basically implying that better quality things smell better, that's only because you are spending the money for that more expensive, better quality item, and that smell is being put into that product. So you might think it smells better, but that's just because, there's the extra money put in there for that smell. A more down-to-earth example I have of this is that I actually went to a beauty trade show, and it was held in New York. I happened to be there at the time, so I was able to go. I wasn't even in the industry at the time, but I saw the trade show coming up. It was my passion, it was my interest. I wanted to get into that career path, so I bought a ticket to this trade show, and they just let me in. They didn't look for any credentials, like do you work for a beauty company or anything. I just went, and there was a seminar about a lady speaking from a chemical company, specifically saying that, when you wash your hands with soap and it suds up and there's little bubbles or big bubbles, that actually doesn't do anything. Those bubbles don't clean your hands. And what actually cleans your hands are different chemicals that don't necessarily bubble, but because consumers, everybody like me and you, associate creating bubbles with cleanliness, they actually add that extra chemical into soap. So you think that it's cleaning. Even if that chemical wasn't added to soap, it would still clean your hands just as well, but you might not think it's cleaning it because you don't see any bubbles. Now, this lady specifically said, we all know that the suds don't do anything, but consumers want it. Consumers are brainwashed to think that they need their soap to bubble up. So this is why you should add this chemical. So it's a very known thing in the beauty industry. So when you think that like Le Labo, this very expensive soap brand, is lathering up to this really thick cream and how luxurious it must feel, well, yeah, that's because you are paying for that chemical to just create that thick foam that you like, but it's not actually doing anything to clean your hands better. So that's the first myth that I would just like to clear up. That yes, there is definitely some differences in quality. For example, in blush, I think that the more pigmented, the better, because you are having more color impact on your cheeks and you don't have to use as much product, versus another maybe cheaper blush that has a lot of filler particles in there so you don't get as much color. Like that is what I think about when it comes to quality blush, but it has nothing to do with how that blush smells. So if you are smelling like a Chanel or a Dior blush and it smells wonderful and you're like, oh my God, this is such a luxury product, yeah, because you're paying for them to put that in there for you. But the quality of the actual blush color might not be impacted by that smell at all. Another concept that I wanted to point out is that luxury brands do make a lot of their products in China. Now, this might not be a secret because it's not like anybody is actually hiding it, because this is something that has to be printed on every item that is sold, at least in the US. But let's say, for example, I have here, this is a toiletry pouch from the Dior Beauty brand. So inside this came like a couple of lipsticks, or I think it was skincare. And basically, if you look inside of this, the tag right here that has all of the information about this toiletry bag, it clearly says, third line from the bottom, it says made in China. So a lot of people like to come on here and say, you could get a Dior bag and you can get a Chanel bag cheap just buying their beauty products, and they gift these toiletry bags. So that's how you get a luxury brand for cheap. Well, I'm not going to deny that this is a very quality toiletry pouch. I think it's a very good size. The texture is very smooth. It's very thick. The zipper is nice as well. So, you know, it's definitely a product that I would use, and I think it's good. But you should know that, you know, not everything from Dior, not everything from Chanel is made in France or Europe or even America. There are a lot of things that are made in China. You know, I'm sure they found a factory that they thought was quality in order to protect their brand image, because, you know, that is something that they have to consider. But it's just good to be aware of these things so you're not surprised if you hear it or you see a tag that says, oh my gosh, this came from China. It's certainly not the same thing as getting a Dior bag from France. Now, the third and final thing that I wanted to share is something that really surprised me when I learned about it being in the industry, and that is when there's like a special custom box or most loved product that they want to give away, or that they're just having a special deal on. Sometimes that just means that they have too much of that product. So it really comes up these days when, as you know, there's so many of those subscription boxes, and sometimes they'll do a special sale for like the most loved products, or sometimes they have a custom box that's like customer favorites, or even just their regular, like, let's customize this box for you and you might get this product based off of the questions that you answered when you signed up for the program. Sometimes there really is not that much thought put into those boxes and those products. Sometimes it's just excess products that they have to get rid of, that they want to get rid of before the expiration date so it doesn't look bad on them. So they market it as, oh, these are our most loved things. We're doing a special pricing on them so you can try it and fall in love with it as well. So that was super eye-opening for me when I found out those advertisements, those promotions, they're not really vetted for truth. There's no organization going around looking at all the claims that these companies do and saying, are you sure that's like the number one thing that customers love the most? Nobody's doing that. So honestly, these companies have a lot of leeway to say whatever they want to say. Now, some claims are definitely controlled and legally binding. So in those cases, especially for skincare, they have to be very careful about how they word certain things. For example, I did overhear a conversation once that was like, there was vitamin C in that product, and through some scientific research, we know that that vitamin C can be good for skin. It can help your skin look more glowy and reduce scars. But in that particular conversation, they said, "Oh, well, our product actually doesn't have that much vitamin C in it, so we actually can't make that claim." So then they'll reword it so that they make sure they're within legal guidelines, but still it's trying to convey something so that you interpret it a certain way so that the customer will believe certain benefits come from the product, when again it may not necessarily be proven. So I hope that this video was enlightening to all of you guys interested in beauty. I definitely learned a lot when I was in the industry, and it's still something that I pay very much attention to these days, in addition to my addiction to luxury handbags. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next one. And thank you for spending your time with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!